On August 5, 2025, four men, Alencar Goncalves de Souza, Rafael Juliano Mariscalchi, Diego Henrique Afonso, and Robishley Hernani de Oliveira, left the state of Sao Paulo for a seemingly straightforward business trip to the rural town of Icaraíma, Paraná, Brazil. Their objective? To settle a commercial dispute and collect a debt of approximately 255,000 reais, around 46,000 US dollars at the time, related to a rural property sale. Alencar was the creditor, and the other three were hired to ensure the transaction, and the payment was completed. The group was headed to a farm owned by the debtors, father and son Antônio Buscariollo and Paulo Ricardo Costa Buscariollo. The disappearance. The four men were last seen alive at around 10 a.m. at a local bakery in Icaraíma. Later that day, their families lost all contact. Phones were turned off, and messages went unanswered. The next day, August 6th, the wives and partners of the disappeared men reported them missing. Their growing sense of dread turned to desperate fear as the weeks passed, with no word. The local authorities launched an investigation, but initial leads were scarce. The group and the vehicle they were traveling in, a Fiat Toro pickup, had seemingly vanished into thin air. A crucial discovery. After over a month of agonizing uncertainty, a crucial breakthrough came on September 12th. An anonymous letter was sent to the police, dramatically changing the course of the investigation. The letter revealed the location of the missing vehicle. The police followed the tip to a remote, forested area, about 9 kilometers from the Buscariollo farm. There, they found something shocking. The missing Fiat Toro had been buried in a hidden underground structure, often referred to as a bunker, which was reportedly used for storing contraband. The vehicle was heavily damaged, bearing multiple bullet holes and bloodstains, confirming the worst fears of an ambush. The bodies and the evidence of torture. Days later, on September 19th, the search teams located the men themselves. Following intense excavations near the buried car, the four bodies were discovered together in a shallow, makeshift grave or ditch, concealed beneath branches and recently planted vegetation. The forensic reports were horrific. They indicated that this was not a quick execution following a simple ambush. The victims had been brutally killed. The death certificates and subsequent reports confirmed multiple injuries, polytraumatismo, cranial trauma, and gunshot wounds. These findings suggested that the men may have been held captive and tortured before their execution. The brutal discovery led the police to immediately categorize the case as a quadruple homicide. The mystery deepens, fugitives and unanswered questions. The prime suspects in the case are the debtors, Antônio Buscariollo and his son Paulo Ricardo Costa Buscariollo. However, just like the victims, the two suspects also disappeared shortly after the victims' arrival in Icaraíma, and warrants have been issued for their arrest. As of today, they remain fugitives. The case is complicated by several enduring questions. Who was involved? The scale of the crime, burying a large vehicle, digging a grave, and the evidence of torture suggests that more than just the two suspects were involved. Where are the suspects? Authorities are investigating whether they were tipped off and whether they fled across state or even international borders. What was the real motive? Was it purely about the debt? Or was there a deeper, more sinister connection, possibly involving the area's history with organized crime or smuggling activities related to the discovered bunker? The families continue to demand justice, but until the Buscariollos are captured and investigators uncover the full truth, the Icaraíma murders remain an unsolved case, a chilling example of a business dispute that descended into unimaginable brutality in the Brazilian countryside.